All right, let's talk about something that happens to so many people. You start a fasting routine, maybe it's OMAD, one meal a day, and for the first few months, it feels like magic. I mean, the weight is just melting off, your mind is clearer than ever, you feel like you've totally cracked the code. And then, all of a sudden, it all just falls apart.
One day you wake up and the energy is just gone. You're not sleeping well, and that scale, it's either stuck or, even worse, it's starting to creep back up. You're left completely baffled thinking, what did I do wrong? This thing that felt so amazing now feels like you're wading through mud. So, what gives?
Well, what you've just experienced is what we call the fasting honeymoon phase. And yeah, it's a real thing, and it can be absolutely amazing while it lasts. Your body loves the initial shock to the system, the results come fast and furious, and you feel totally on top of the world. But for a lot of us, that honeymoon has a very, very abrupt ending.
And this is the absolute key to understanding this. When things start to go sideways, what's the first thing people say? Oh, you just need more willpower, or just push through it. But I'm here to tell you, it is almost never a willpower problem. The real issue is that you've picked a fasting style that is just fundamentally at odds with your actual life.
To really get to the bottom of this, we need to pull back the curtain and look at the real villain in this story: stress. Because here's the thing, fasting isn't just about not eating. From a biological perspective, it is a stressor on your body. And that's exactly where the trouble can start.
See, every single time you fast, your body produces a hormone called cortisol. You've probably heard of it, the stress hormone. Now, its main job here is to keep your blood sugar from crashing by releasing stored energy. And in short bursts, that's great. It's a totally normal, healthy process. But the problems kick in when that cortisol level gets cranked up and just stays there.
The thing is, your body doesn't know the difference between different kinds of stress. It's all just stress. So the cortisol from your 23-hour fast gets dumped into the same bucket as the stress from a crazy deadline at work, the stress from a tough workout, and the stress from just, being a parent. It all stacks up until your body is in a state of chronic cortisol overload. And that's when your metabolism decides to pull the emergency brake.
And when that brake gets pulled, this is what happens. Your body goes into full-on survival mode. It starts hoarding fat, especially that stubborn belly fat. To save energy, it down-regulates your thyroid function. It messes up your natural sleep cycle, leaving you tired but wired. And it starts shutting down anything it considers non-essential for survival right now, like, say, your reproductive health.
And we're not talking about some abstract concept here. This metabolic slowdown is real. Your resting metabolism, the calories you burn just by being alive, can drop by 200 to 300 calories a day. Your body is now actively fighting against you, all because it thinks there's a serious threat on the horizon.
So what does this have to do with OMAD versus 16-8? Well, everything. Let's actually walk through a day in the life for both of them, and you'll see exactly how different that daily stress load really is. This is where it all clicks into place.
Okay, picture this. On OMAD, you wake up and your cortisol is already high from the overnight fast. Then maybe you go work out, still on an empty stomach. That's a second cortisol spike. Then you head to work and a stressful meeting hits you. Bam, a third spike. All of this, and you haven't eaten a single thing. By the time you get to your one meal, your body is swimming in stress hormones and is primed to store that food as fat. Now, compare that to 16-8, where you can have a meal to bring cortisol down, you can fuel your workout. It creates a much more balanced, manageable hormonal day.
And this chart really just says it all, doesn't it? It's not that OMAD is bad, it's just that it puts a significantly higher stress load on your system day in and day out. And if your life is already stressful, OMAD is often the straw that breaks the camel's back. 16-8 just keeps that total stress load in a much healthier, more manageable zone. Now, if you thought that was the whole story, hold on. There's another huge layer to this that we have to talk about, especially for women. And this is a big one that gets ignored way too often.
If you have a menstrual cycle, your body is not the same from one week to the next. In the first half of your cycle, rising estrogen makes you more insulin sensitive and more resilient to stress, like fasting. But in the second half, the 2 weeks before your period, your body is fundamentally different. It's more stress sensitive, and your metabolism actually speeds up a bit. It needs more calories. Forcing an aggressive fast, like OMAD, during this time can send a massive famine signal to your body, which can throw your whole cycle out of whack.
And hey, this isn't just for the ladies. Guys, listen up. You might not have a monthly cycle, but if you're training hard, trying to build muscle, or you've got a high-pressure job, OMAD can be a huge liability. You just can't recover and grow effectively when your body is under that much stress all day and you're trying to cram all your nutrients into one tiny window.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's that you have to match your fasting style to your life, not try to force your life to fit an extreme fasting style. So let's break it down and figure out a simple way for you to choose what's actually right for you.
Honestly, just look at this list. For the huge majority of us, 16A is going to be the smarter, safer, and way more sustainable choice. It lets you get the benefits of fasting without piling on all that extra stress. It gives you the flexibility to live your life, fuel your body, and work with your hormones, not declare war on them.
On the flip side, who is OMAD for? Well, it's a pretty specific niche tool. If you are truly sedentary, if you're a man with a genuinely low-stress life, or you're using it for a very short-term specific reason, then sure, it might work. But for most of us, trying to live the OMAD life is the exact reason our fasting journey hits a wall.
At the end of the day, this whole thing isn't about finding the most hardcore, extreme method out there. It's about finding the path that you can walk consistently, day after day, without completely burning yourself out. The boring, sustainable path is always the one that wins.
And hey, if you're listening to all this and a light bulb is going off, if you're thinking, oh my God, that's me, here's a little pro tip. If you decide to switch from OMAD to 16-8, please be patient with your body. Give it a good 4 to 6 weeks to adjust. Your hunger signals and hormones need time to recalibrate. But trust me, your energy levels and your sleep will thank you for it.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. Don't ask which fasting method is the fastest. Ask which one is the longest. Take a really honest look at your life, your job, your workouts, your biology, and ask yourself, can my body truly handle this for the next year? Because the answer to that question, that's the real secret to success.